Yo, Goosey checking in with the UFC 286 recap and breakdown. The card just ended. We definitely have a few storylines coming out of it. Up top, Leon holds the belt, looking like America's champ. Colby Covington's going to be next up for the belt. We'll talk about that at the end, and a lot of interesting judging on this card, to say the least. Starting us off, though, we're going to take a look at the Geek sheet. It's going to be up on the screen here. Looks like in the lineup, we went 10, 4, and 1. We went 1 for 2 on parlays with a plus 407 hidden. And then 4 plays hit, the best of which being a Jack Shore round 2 for plus 420. Yeah, starting at the bottom of the card, we are going to go take a look at Veronica Hardy versus Juliana Miller. Definitely not our best read. All right, you're looking at this fight, you're saying based on past Juliana Miller, she's riding a little bit of a hot streak right here. Veronica Hardy, not the best streak, was off for a while, but shouldn't have been as big of an underdog as she was. You try and take the odds out of it and the picks, just who you think is going to win the fight, but not our best pick for sure, looking back on it. When women take some time off, especially when they're younger in their career, it seems like they come back and give much stronger performances. The case was obvious today with Veronica Hardy. Obviously, Dan Hardy's given her some good tips. She was improving. The takedowns, the grappling was a lot better. The striking, we knew she was going to be ahead, but it was just a matter of if she could keep the fight on the feet or take it where she wanted to go. Because typically, Juliana Miller is the one in your face with a relentless pressure. Today, Veronica Hardy was able to stun her, keep her off of her, and then get takedowns when she needed. But yeah, ring rust seems to be much more of an issue for men. Maybe it's a little bit more power in the shots, a little bit more danger factor. But either way, very good performance from Veronica Hardy. This was probably our worst pick of the night looking back on it. So we got it out of the way early. Next up, we have Jai Herbert versus Ludovic Klein. This one, a draw. One judge gave it to Herbert, but majority draw was the overall decision. Starting it off, Ludovic Klein was getting takedowns early, but he was getting butchered in Herbert's guard, which is something that we haven't really seen. Round 2, Ludovic Klein comes out strong. He's mixing in the grappling, hitting some good shots on the feet, overall pushing the pace. And then round 3, we get a few nut shots to the point that they take a point from Jai Herbert, and Jai Herbert ends up winning that round. So 2-1 Herbert. Looking back on it from a picks perspective, I think Klein was the right pick because he did what he needed to do, what we expect him to do in rounds 1 and 2. The only unforeseen circumstance was he got absolutely butchered in Herbert's guard, which we haven't really seen from Herbert before, but showing an evolution in his game. He pushed a good pace for 3 rounds in this one. So Herbert, I don't know what the UFC is going to do with him because he hasn't had the best streak and then a draw here. But if he stays around, he could definitely make some waves and win a few fights for sure. But draws the decision there. Next one on the card, Joanne Wood, Luana Carolina. This one started the interesting decisions. I thought Joanne Wood won the fight 2-1. She was winning the moments of the rounds that she needed to. Like a good game plan, high IQ fighter would. Luana Carolina, on the other hand, was probably doing the more damaging shots, but it seemed like when it really got to crunch time in the rounds, at the end of the round, the big moments, she was always on the other side of those shots, or she was getting taken down and laying on her back. And just not the best game plan from Luana Carolina. Geeks picked her, but that was the end of our bad picks for a while. So we were 0-2-1 at this point. From this fight on, we went 10 straight. Legendary run. All right, and we're going to jump right into it. We're on to Jake Hadley, Malcolm Gordon. You look at this one, Malcolm Gordon missing weight by about 4 pounds. always interesting how you play those, because sometimes a guy misses weight. It just means he didn't have to push himself as hard the day before. He's going to have a little bit more freshness. But then you start hearing about liver problems and all that. Stick to the gut. You got to go Hadley. We did, and it paid off for us. We saw Hadley rip two big body shots, and Gordon just slumped over. 1 minute in, body shot TKO from Hadley. The striking is evolving. This guy already had a very good ground game. And then he's young. He's early in his 20s. I think we have a really, really nice prospect in him at the flyweight division. Possible super fight. He was going at a guy who fought later on this card in his post-fight interview, Muhammad Makayev, which that would be a very interesting fight. Hopefully they push it off, though, let these guys build themselves up and have them fight with something on the line a little later in their careers. But good performance from Jake Hadley. On to the next. Not what you want to see in a fight here. Christian Leroy Duncan versus Dusko Todorovic. Christian Leroy Duncan came out. He was the more physical presence in there. Dusko was on the outside. Leroy Duncan was kind of stalking him down, hitting him with some good shots. Dusko went for a takedown and spinning off the cage. Absolutely blew his knee out. Just quick finish there. Chris Leroy Duncan technically, I guess, gets a TKO there, but more just kind of a freak injury, which can happen. Either way, Geeks did have the ITD on Christian Leroy Duncan, but that's not how you want to win a pick, you know. So best of luck to Dusko Todorovic in rehab there. I think it's going to be interesting to see what the UFC does. You know, it's not always the feel-good story that you're hoping. Sometimes they make a business decision. Dusko hasn't been on the best streaks lately. I know he won his last fight, but before that he had been skidding a little bit. So now off a knee injury, we'll have to see what comes from him. But Christian Leroy Duncan looked good. He had a good presence in the octagon. He seemed like he belonged. And now at Nate No Prospect, I think it's going to be very interesting to see who he gets matched up with next. Seems like an exciting fighter. Going up the card, one of the better fights of the night for sure. Lerone Murphy versus Gabriel Santos. Round one, back and forth. Gabriel Santos is trying to push the grappling. He's doing enough on the feet to get Lerone Murphy thinking, but Murphy is ending up on the better end of the exchanges. At the end of the round, they go forehead to forehead. The fans get hyped up. They're talking to each other a little bit. You can see that intensity in the octagon, and that's what we want to see. You know, a lot of times, and I'm not knocking it, but these guys come out and they're hugging at the start of the rounds or whatever. Pull a Lerone Murphy and Gabriel Santos, go head to head and start talking crap to each other. Get the fans fired up, and then go put on a show the rest of the fight as well, which is what happened. Round two, Santos's round, the grappling started to shine through a little bit. He had a few big moments, a few good shots on the feet, got a takedown, and was threatening an armbar there at the end that Lerone Murphy was able to kind of stave off and survive into the third round. Third round, Santos on short notice here. The gas tank was definitely starting to fade. Lerone Murphy turned up the heat, hitting him with some good shots, stuffing takedowns, and it was enough to get him the split decision win. I believe the judge that gave it to Santos was giving it off 1 and 2, which one was really a toss-up. Santos won round 2, Murphy won round 3. So not the worst judging there, but it gets pretty interesting later on in the card for sure. Moving on up, we have Muhammad Makayev versus Jafel Filho. Filho put up a little bit of a fight, definitely more than people were expecting. Muhammad Makayev, you had the number 12 ranked flyweight fighting a guy making his debut, which he probably shouldn't have been a minus 800 favorite against him, but stylistically, Filho accepts bottom position. We knew that going in, and it was seemingly a matchup that the UFC wanted to give Makayev, sort of build up a younger guy, give him a little bit more experience in there. But it might have bit him in the butt, because Fioho out of nowhere in the second or I think third round snatched up a knee bar in a fight that Makayev was up 2-0 and obliterated Makayev's knee. He didn't tap, which is very, very interesting and showed a lot of the heart and toughness that you like to see. But when your knee is bending the wrong way, it's hard to get that back to 100%. When you're a 22-year-old prospect, you have your whole career ahead of you. It's going to be interesting to see. I think he should take some time off, definitely a while. Make sure that knee is 100%, because if you rush it back right now, it could be just absolutely devastating to his career. Ultimately, he showed toughness, though, got kind of to the feet, but was keeping a hold of him, got the back, got the rear naked choke. He definitely had more urgency. I think he got the rear naked choke off with 40 seconds left in the fight. But for a prospect as highly rated as Makayev was and highly thought about, he didn't have the best showing. And then getting his knee obliterated like that, I think is going to definitely put a little damper on the hype train. I hope he takes this time. I know he had a shoulder injury coming in. Now the knee, he might as well just take some time, heal the injuries up, slow that pace to be the UFC's youngest champion, which is what he was talking about. That was his goal. I think now it just needs to be a champion, because this is a crucial point in his career where if he doesn't handle these injuries correctly, I think it would definitely will affect him down the line. So Makayev gets it done by third round submission. And it'll be interesting to see what happens going forward for him. We are on to the next, Yanal Ashmouz versus Sam Patterson. Ashmouz plus 220 underdog. He looked like he should have been about a minus 1,000 favorite, because early on in the first round, Sam Patterson came on, was trying to get in the pocket, and Ashmouz exploded, hit him with a left hook, put his lights out, and then Goddard, and I think he was just enjoying the show a little bit, got caught watching and let Sam Patterson take about 10 unanswered shots, to the point that there was some pretty scary scenes after. About a minute after the fight, he was not willing to sit down on the stool. He was kind of grappling with Mr. Goddard as he was trying to get him to sit down, and I guess he thought he was still in the fight. So best of luck to Sam Patterson. I hope he takes time to recover, like I was just talking about with Makayev. He definitely took some unnecessary damage, but part of the game sometimes, I guess. Mark Goddard, you got to be better than that. Yanal Ashmouz, you did your job, buddy. Very explosive debut. He said he's got hands like Mike Tyson. Very good wrestling as well. So Israel's got a good one in Mr. Yanal Ashmouz. I'm excited to see what he does. Hopefully they turn him around quick. He took literally no damage. I think 2 shots overall, and got out of there in right around a minute. So let's turn that guy around quick. I want to see him again, see him show off the full repertoire. Next one up, we got Chris Duncan versus Omar Morales. Interesting judging on this one. First round probably goes to Omar Morales. It was a stand-up round. Omar Morales was ripping leg kicks, hit a few big shots at the end. Chris Duncan was more of the stalking presence in there, kind of the one moving forward. He was getting hit with shots, but he was giving his back. He got a few elbows in to get his lick back at the end of the round. But overall, visually, it seemed like Omar Morales was getting the better end of the exchanges, definitely beating that leg up. Omar Morales probably wins round 1. From then on, Chris Duncan really deployed a grappling game plan, was clinching him up against the fence, trying to get takedowns. Got a lot of control time, was getting more significant strikes than Omar Morales as well. You know, that game plan was really draining Morales. And Chris Duncan won a 29-28 decision on 2 of the judges' scorecards. One did a 30-27 for Omar Morales, which almost impossible to give him round 3. Not the best decision to even go 29-28 Morales, but 30-27 is egregious. All right. So I don't know the judge's name up top that was that was giving that one out, but come on, bro. We got to know what we're watching here. On to the next. My fighter of the week, Jack Shore. Fight went just how we thought it was going to go. Makwan Amirkhani, formidable opponent for the first 5 minutes. He came out, he got his takedown. He did a lot of control time, not a lot of damage round one. Jack Shore, very good jiu-jitsu game, solid grappler in his own right. He was able to negate the dangerous spots, keep himself safe. Round two comes around. Amirkhani on the decline. Shore energied up, not a big weight cut. He's moving up to 145. Had a little extra pop in the punches, hitting him with some good shots. Got a takedown at the end of the round. Second round submission. The Geeks had round two on the sheet. I believe in the pick video I said round two submission. Either way, if you're tailing the sheet, you got a plus 420 value there. It always seemed like it was going to be Shore round two, possibly round three, but he pushed the agenda. He was in front of the UK fans, and he got it done in Tucson. So very good job, Jack Shore. We're on to the main card. We're starting it off with Marvin Vettori versus Roman Dolidze. 229.28 for Vettori, 130.27 for Vettori. 30-27, probably not the best, but I do see how they got to that. Round one, I would lean Dolidze. He hit him with a few more powerful shots. Visually, Vettori was moving backwards in there a little bit, but against a guy like Dolidze, you can't really walk forward, because if you're walking forward, you open up his whole game. He's looking to hit you with some hard shots and then get you to the ground. If you're moving away, it's very hard to take you down, and it takes the thud out of those shots a little bit. So I think that Vettori knew that. He went to Thailand after the Robert Whittaker fight. The kicks were on point. The striking was slick. And we saw an evolution in his striking game tonight. He was hitting good shots, really picking his shots well, evading. The head movement wasn't great round one. I think he got back to the corner. They got in his ear a little bit, moved the head, get off the center line. Rounds 2 and 3, Dolidze, both of them really were gassed, but I think Vettori was able to push himself a little bit more. Dolidze still finished well. You know, we see him improving each and every fight, which is impressive to see. I don't think that the hype train's over for Dolidze. It definitely slowed down a little bit with this loss to Vettori, but we're seeing evolution in both of their games. And then Vettori, it's crazy that he's only 29. It seems like he's been around for so long, but he's just entering his prime, you know? So I think he can go on another run here. He possibly has some good matchups at middleweight. And if Pereira does beat Izzy in April 8th, I do think with Vettori's grappling, his iron chin, that he would be a bad matchup for Pereira. He might need one or two more to get a title shot, but if he can get in there, Pereira has the belt, I don't see why Vettori can't be a possible champion. So that's just the thoughts from me. Maybe I'm jumping ahead of myself, but I like Vettori. I like what I saw tonight. Either way, Vettori gets it done by decision. The Geeks had it on the sheet. On to the next. We got Jennifer Maia, Casey O'Neill. Interesting matchup. You know, Casey O'Neill, the vet, the underdog, CEO, shout out CEO, was all over it. I trusted his guidance. Dano trusted his guidance. We had Maia on the sheet despite O'Neill being up 2-1 in the pick video. We also had Maia decision on the sheet. We also had her in a parlay, and a little bit nervous, possibly, but once round one started getting going, it was clear that Maia had the hand speed advantage. She was hitting her with some good shit up top, mixing combos in. The boxing levels to the boxing. Maia has very good boxing. Winning those exchanges, O'Neill really wasn't trying to push the grappling at all, which I thought was interesting. Definitely could have been to her advantage, but not the best game plan for sure. Maia did what she does well. Got the first 2 rounds. O'Neill, good gas tank, very tough. She made it a dogfight going into round 3, got round 3. Either way, Maya 29-28 decision in what was a very high output fight. 3-rounder. Maya's hitting 145 significant strikes. O'Neal's hitting 137. A lot of damage being slung around. Good job, ladies. Excited for both of your fights. I think that Maya is turning herself into kind of a Dustin Poirier figure in the women's flyweight division, where she's proven she's top tier. She has come up short in title fights, but definitely one of the best ladies at 125 in the world. There's no doubt about that. Plus money, decision. It was always Maya decision. We're on to the next. Gunnar Nelson, Brian Barberena. We said in the pick video, styles make fights, and styles made this fight because Barberena had no answer for the ground game. Gunnar Nelson was comfortable in there. He really wasn't trying to play too much on the feet, just stay at distance, pick when he needed to take a shot. He got one, and that's all it took. Got him to the ground, played a little bit of top control, hit him with some good elbows, all right, some damaging shots, took his time, and then with about 10 seconds left, grabbed that arm bar, said, "Hey, Bam Bam, tap or snap, buddy." And Barberena was tapping. Ref stepped in. Good to see Gunnar Nelson back in the win column. I think I'd like to see this guy a little bit more active. He seems like he's taking coaching more serious right now. Maybe that's more fulfilling to him. He can help other fighters achieve their goals. But for Gunnar Nelson's career, let's stay active. Let's get a few fights in 2023. You didn't really take any damage. Maybe not in the prime, but he's still looking good. Let's turn it around, get you back on a card in the summer, see what we can do in this welterweight division. But let's jump into the main fights now. Starting us off, Justin Gaethje, Rafael Fiziev. Woo! What a banger. Gaethje, we slept on you, big dog. You showed us. You showed us that veteran savvy, much like Jennifer Maia, but on a bigger scale. Because Fiziev was coming in there slinging haymakers. All right, sometimes you get those vibes in a fight. It feels like Mortal Kombat. This one felt like Mortal Kombat walking in. Just a sick matchup. And early on, Fiziev did what he does. He was hitting some good leg kicks, letting the combos fly. He has very fast hands. Overall, Gaethje actually had more speed. We saw kind of an evolution in Gaethje. He really did show the levels, and that these guys at the top of their divisions, like, they're there for a reason. They're tested by fire. They've been there. They've done that. And he got hit with a few shots, kept his composure. He made it a very not technical fight, which is what you have to do against such a technical kickboxer like Fiziev. Got it to round 2 through just an absolutely granite chin. Round 2 comes around. Fiziev still got some gas, but Gaethje's starting to take over. He's dipping, he's dodging, he's hitting him with some good shots. He's even working the jab in there that we hadn't seen. The leg kicks were starting to add up on Fiziev, and Gaethje takes round 2. One thing I thought about from Fiziev, I would have liked to see more straight punches. Everything from him was hooks up on the punches. The kicks, he was whipping the roundhouse kicks to the body, to the legs, but Gaethje was hitting the better leg kicks as well in this fight. We saw evolutions to Gaethje's game. He mixed in a few takedowns. He got on the mic after. He said that we could stop talking shit. He got his takedown in the UFC, which is very interesting that he got it on the dude with the best takedown defense in the lightweight division, but that's just how this fight was. Such a banger. So high pace. Justin Gaethje, just, again, man, great performance. This was the end of our 10-fight streak. We did pick Fiziev. We bought into the hype. And if we were going to end it, I'm glad it ended the way it did, because what a performance again. I think Justin versus Dustin might be in the cards, a little number one contenders bout from the vet. And that would be a great fight because we do see Justin Gaethje still improving. We haven't seen Dustin in a while. Gaethje said he wasn't hurt at all. He's probably going to try and get back in there summer maybe. So that would be a banger. And on to the main event. Geeks picked Usman by decision. Every round was close. Leon got a point deducted. I think Leon was doing more damage on the feet. He had Usman wobbled at some points. Usman really only had one moment where it looked like, oh crap, Leon might be on his way out of there. But Leon's a champ, man. He managed it. He was stuffing takedowns. Still, Leon was the one kind of putting the pressure on, mixing, controlling where the fight took place. Round 5 came around. I didn't know who was winning. The live odds had Leon slightly ahead. I guess Leon won 4-1. Personally, I kind of thought it was going to be a draw. I think I had 3-2 Leon, but Usman, I don't know if Leon's that good or Usman took a step back, and that's not a knock on Leon at all. But it just seemed like Usman was definitely gun shy early. He seemed like that knockout really affected him, which you can't knock that. You get your lights put out on a stage like that, it's going to be in the back of your mind. But either way, Leon, very good performance. Hit him with some good shots on the feet, stuffed the takedowns, like I said, and he defended his belt. I think he put Usman in the rear view now. He won the trilogy. He's up 2-1 on that series. Going into August, we never would have thought it would be like this for sure, but Leon got it done twice, and now he's on to Colby Covington, which, whether you like it or not, Dana went into the post-fight interview, said Colby Covington's getting the next shot. He weighed in as the backup, so it wasn't out of nowhere. Colby weighed in Friday. From then on, he was kind of the headline of the weekend because I think it was so unexpected. People hadn't seen Colby since really the Masvidal incident, but I guess it paid off for him. He's getting the next title shot. I think that's going to be a very interesting matchup because Usman was willing to play a little bit more technical game with Leon. I don't know if it was because those shots from Leon were stinging or Usman was a little gun shy, but Colby, a guy that really just pushes an overwhelming pace. His nickname's Chaos. He tries to cause chaos in the octagon. It will be interesting to see if that pressure overwhelms Leon or if Leon can hit him with some good shots and get him out of there. I don't really see Leon winning a decision in that one. So it will be interesting. I'm definitely not saying he can't win that. I can see him winning by knockout. I think if that fight does go to decision, it's most likely going to be an and new for Colby Covington. But that's a ways away. Colby's calling for it in July. I would imagine Leon wants to push it back, possibly even August or September. He did take some damage in this fight, so we'll see. But that's what's going on at welterweight. Overall banger card. Geeks, like I said early on, went 10-4-1, one parlay, and a few plays for the boys. Overall, definitely positive value on the night. Let me know what you thought about this card in the comments. And as always, leave a like, leave a subscribe for the fellas. We're here for you. Geeks are going to the moon. We're out.